Hello, my eccentric entrepreneurs. This is Taylor Ellwood, your business wizard at ImagineYourReality.com. And today I want to talk about the topic of delegation and how to go about delegating effectively. Whether you're a solopreneur or you're an employer with employees, the issue of delegation is an interesting one because really, when you're delegating, you're choosing someone else to do something for you. And okay, that sounds great, but the reason why it becomes such an interesting issue is because um, you have to find the right person, and that's not always easy. And then on top of that, you have to figure out what you're going to delegate in the first place. And again, that's not always easy. So let's take a moment and ask ourselves, well, why do we delegate in the first place? Well, why we delegate work is because it's work that we don't want to do. It's work that someone else is better qualified to do, and it's also that we have a better use for our time. When we know what the better use of our time is, that becomes more important. However, on the other hand, delegation typically costs money. You might say, well, I have an employee. Okay, great. The employee's taking care of it for you. You're still paying the employee for what they're doing. And if you're a solopreneur and you're hiring someone out, a VA or someone else to do some type of service for you, again, it costs money. And so you have to evaluate that and say, well, is what they're doing worth the money? The way that I look at it is, you exchange time for money. So you have to decide what your time is worth. And in my opinion, my time is worth a lot. However, at the same time, my money is also worth something to me. So if I'm going to hire somebody, I need to know that they're going to do a good job, and that it's going to be worth my time. And let me give you a recent example. My one website went down, and I talked to my web developer, and I'm like, hey, can you call the people for me and talk to them? And when all things were said and done, when I looked at the bill, I kind of thought to myself, man, yeah, I delegated that to her, but it really wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the money. And it's not because she doesn't do a good job, because she does a great job. It's because I could have gotten those answers myself and saved myself some money. And, I could have set it up in such a way where, yeah, it would have cost me a bit of time, but it probably wouldn't have cost me that much more time um, than what it cost me in terms of money. So there's a fine balance there because, yeah, you can hire someone to do something, but you also have to decide if it's worth the money that you're going to pay. I know next time if something happens, I'm probably just going to call the hosting company myself, because I understand enough that I can probably get through it. And if I don't understand, well, then I can go back and say, hey, I need you to call them. But I would have saved myself, I could have possibly saved myself some money there. And at the same time, I still needed her services. She was able to get the website up and running, so clearly there was value there. I couldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have wanted to have learned all the skills involved to do it. So there's that fine balancing. And let's say you're someone who decides to hire a VA. Well, again, a VA, hey, great virtual assistant. They're wonderful. They can do a lot for you, but you have to decide what it is they're going to do for you and what it's worth. I'll admit the reason I've been reluctant to hire a VA is because I'm not always sure that what they're going to do is actually going to be worth the money that I'm going to pay them. Take scheduling a blog or something like that. Well, I can schedule it myself. It's not that hard to do. And the fact of the matter is, it only takes me a few extra seconds to schedule it after I've written the thing. Now, on the other hand, if you're someone who doesn't like to go onto the back end of your website and put the blog, write the blog there, if you write it in Word, for example, then maybe having a VA do that for you is exactly what you need. So you have to look at the skills involved. What is it that you're doing that you don't want to do? And is it worth hiring someone? Or is it worth just doing it yourself? Sometimes it is worth doing it yourself. Yeah, it costs you a little bit extra time, but the overall savings in terms of money is worth it. Other times, quite honestly, it's worth it to spend the money so that you can save the time, because you know what? you either can't do anything about it yourself or your time is just better served. The way that I really evaluate ultimately is what I'm doing with my time actually going to produce a greater amount of income than if I take the time to fix this problem? And if the answer is yes, it is, then it's better to just delegate it to someone else and get them to take care of it for you. So look, let's wrap this up here. And really what I want you to do is just make sure that you understand why you're hiring someone, what you're hiring them to do, and then make sure that they actually can do it and that it's worth the money that you're going to spend. All right, eccentric entrepreneurs, I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to making another one of these next week. Hey, if you have a comment about delegation, leave it below, and if you feel so inclined, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you get more awesome videos from me, your business wizard, at imagineyourreality.com.